Unichem Laboratories has been trading with cuts for the last two trading sessions after jumping about 9% or so on Monday. The pharma player has also received a nod from the US FDA for its Ghaziabad facility. 0 observations received there. What does the new financial year have in store for the company? Let's ask the management. Joining us now is the Chairman and Managing Director, Prakash Mody. Good morning, sir, and thank you very much for joining us. Sir, aside of Ghaziabad plant, if you could tell us where the US FDA inspection was, of course, completed last week. Is there any other facility which is due for inspection by the US FDA in 2019? Or let me first ask you which of your facilities apart from the Ghaziabad plant are US FDA approved?
We have got 2 formulation units, one in Goa and one in Ghaziabad. Goa got approved last year. That means reapproved. It has always been approved. Ghaziabad again got hopefully recertified just 2 days ago, with the inspection concluded with no observations. We have one more plant which is in Baddi in Himachal Pradesh, but that plant basically is more catering to the EU and the other markets apart from the US. We have 2 other API facilities in Pithampur as well as in Roha. Both are US FDA approved and are also going for reinspection. So which means that on the whole we have 4 plants which are US FDA approved.
All right. Sir, also just want to shift focus to plans with respect to cash utilization post the completion of the recent buyback. I believe there will be about 16 to 1700 crores of cash remaining from the gains of the sale of domestic business. So how do you plan to deploy this cash? I understand that you were looking to strengthen the international and CRAMS business and also make investments in R&D and NC products. So how much cash have you deployed and how much are you looking to deploy in FY19? If you could tell us some plans for these businesses.
Well, first thing is that we have got a very good opportunity in the US. So we expect to grow at more than double digits as far as the US business is concerned. You know very clearly that with the consolidation of the buyers, either you are able to cater to their requirements in full and in the time they require. And for that, you need to augment your capacities. So clearly, we have gone in for large expansions in our Goa, as well as we are now going in for our Ghaziabad facility expansion. That is going to take us to a minimum of 10 billion tablets, which is what would be the minimum we would require as far as the US is concerned for the next year. Also, that means that we need to step up our investments again for the US market if we have to cater the market a couple of years from there. Similarly, 90% of the products which we market in the US, we have our own APIs, which means we are backward integrated. For that, in addition to Roha and Pithampur, we also have set up a facility in Kolhapur, and that will be going for US FDA approval once all the validations are done. So clearly, we have said that around 50% of the total proceeds after the buybacks we shall be investing, A, in augmenting our international facilities, B, in making sure that we have the R&D support and capability, because as you well know that we are stepping up the number of filings we are doing. We expect at least a double-digit filing this year as far as the US is concerned. In addition to that, we have Para 4 filings, we have first to file filings. So all in all, it appears a very interesting prospect. And clearly, apart from the US, we are not only US dependent. We are also present in Europe. We are present in the rest of the world like South Africa. We are in Brazil. All these markets are showing good traction. So I'm really looking at good, robust numbers next year and year after next.
Can you tell us a little more about the environment in the US, because we have been hearing about pricing pressure, not only on account of the regulator, that is the US FDA, but also the competitive environment is putting some pressure on prices. How are you viewing these things, and if you could elucidate a little more on the environment there?
Well, it's very clear that everyone is up for increasing market shares. Actually, if you see, the consumer is not bothered because there is a big difference between the price we get for the from the market as compared to the price the patient has to pay. But the fact of the matter is that as more and more people are entering the generic area, there is a price pressure. I won't hide that. But at the same time, if you've got a good credibility and a track record with the major buyers, we still get what is known as first right of refusal, or they call it ROFR. And that itself allows us to kind of have quite optimistic plans. Sometimes you do have people who come and rock the boat, but unfortunately this is not as price sensitive a market as it is given to be. Price is always an important factor, but in addition to that, your quality, your supply, and your ability to carry out what you have committed is far more important than only pricing.
Sir, like you just said or indicated that you intend to pay out about 50% of the net cash to shareholders. Correct me if I'm wrong, sir, but I believe the buyback offer indicates only about 35% of the net cash proceeds that have been returned to shareholders. So does that mean there is a special dividend or any other form of payout under consideration?
Well, you are absolutely right. We have to find all ways to reward our shareholders and investors who have been patient with us over the years. So in addition to the first buyback which has been successfully done, you have to understand that there are certain terms governing a buyback in terms of the net worth of the company and how much can be given. So we are certainly looking at enhanced dividend, we are certainly looking at different ways, and as and how we are able to finalize them, we'll let people know.
Sir, but possible that the remaining payout will happen in FY19 itself?
Well, I think there are some minimum guidelines in terms of when you can go for the next buyback. I am not a company law expert, but the intention is to go in for a buyback as soon as it is feasible.
Okay, Mr. Mody, we leave it at that. Thanks for joining us.